Okay, hi everybody. I am Mike Elzebub, and this is Pantheon: Rise of the Fallen. There's a lot to say about this game. It's in pre-alpha. It's been in development for almost 10 years. A lot of the progress that has been made in the last year, maybe year and a half, 2 years. It's definitely escalated. And it's becoming something that is more tangible and more playable. I became a pledge a couple years ago, and I just wanted to support this cause, this game, this developing studio, because I really believed in what they're doing and the game that they're producing. So I pledged some money, and now I have access to do some pre-alpha testing. And let's see what else. I'm also not a professional YouTube streamer, content creator. So if that's what you're really hoping for, I apologize if it's, it's not going to be very well, not too articulate, not very well scripted. But I'm just going to go through and play the game because that's what I do, and that's just kind of my thing. I do have a little bit of a stuffiness today, and stuffy in my face. So hopefully you don't mind that as well. I am a level 10 rogue human because that's the only race that's available right now. I'm waiting for the necromancer to be totally honest. That is where my heart is. This game is a lot of people are saying would be a spiritual successor to EverQuest, and so that's where my entire interest is. EverQuest is my favorite game. So this game and EverQuest they are both MMORPGs. Massive multiplayer online role-playing game. If you're not familiar with the term, I'll be maybe explaining some things for the noobs, because I do have 3 or 4 friends that are interested, or I'm trying to maybe see if they're interested in this game. So I might be explaining things a little too in detail for some people, like some of the common lingo might be a little redundant for you, but I do know some people that it might be helpful to them. So the first thing I do usually when I'm starting is I come by the well here in the starting area, and there's usually some people that just throwing some buffs around, which is always cool and welcome. I mean, it's a good way to start the day, and especially what time it is. Let's see if it's still early enough. See, current 7, so it was a 7 a.m., which means I still have some daytime. I'm gonna go get some XP here. I'm still kind of in the solo playing mood, and I probably do that for this episode as I'm kind of explaining things. And maybe later we'll go get a group. But we have a lot of buffs, as you can see right here, which is really cool. Thank you. Okay. Now we run away. And just sprint and get out of there. But I've been playing mostly solo with this character, just because it's just kind of I'm just kind of killing time. It's hard to get invested in any character that you make when you already know that it's going to become your alt. Like I'm waiting for the necromancer, and that's where I'm at. Rogue is a second favorite for me, though. I grew up playing rogues, so I feel pretty experienced. I mean, since I was like 10 years old, the first class I picked was the thief, rogue, whatever, Dungeons and Dragons, and but yeah, and I did that for like 30 years, and now I'm more interested in magic users, but definitely the dark, spooky stuff. That's my angle. That's I like gothy things and heavy metal, and it's just, I wear a lot of black. Anywho, so waiting for the necromancer. What's this person doing? I have a fan. Is that what's going on? Gonna keep sprinting. We're gonna go to the spot I've been kind of inhabiting right now. Although I am level 10, so I should be able to have a little bit bigger variety and some more options as far as what I can kill. There's some bristleback boars that have been giving me some trouble. These stinking boars. It's cold. It's not cool. This yellow bar here, this is my stamina. This is exclusive to sprinting and well, jumping as well. If you jump, that ticks down. But we also can climb, which is kind of a really cool feature in an MMO. And you can climb just about anything outside-wise, or even inside caves or dungeons or whatever that I've seen or have heard so far that I'm aware of. Except for like trees, can't climb trees, which, I mean, it seems fair, and buildings, which also seems fair, you know. But yes, moving forward. And here's a little, this is the crossroads. This is the area that I'm in. This whole zone is a lobby, kind of a lobby zone. I think maybe there's some level 20 things, 25 things, but they're like up higher on higher plateaus. Something I think they've structurally done here is, as you climb, you need to have a higher climbing skill in order to get to higher places, and those places are kind of in balance with the levels that you would need, and so your climbing skill would actually be there too, so that you can actually get to those places. Even like right up here, up on this plateau, I don't think we can see it from here, but this little ledge, and I think it's called the graveyard. Right up there, I think, somewhere up there. It's a location called the graveyard, and it's I don't know, it's a higher level, but you need a whole group for that, I think. Woodland spider, are you okay? You're still green. Let's see, wild buck. This is light blue. That's good. So as I'm considering things. So you hit the button, whatever button that you want. I think it's C when you program or whatever, but I have it on my middle mouse button just because it's convenient. But this wild buck here is light blue. As you consider things, when things are equal level with you, they will consider to be white. That is kind of the middle ground. And if they are just below you, they're going to be a darker blue, and then a lighter blue, even below that, and then green, obviously, is going to be very easy. And then after that, they turn gray. And then if they're gray, I don't think you get experience for killing them. I don't think you do. I don't know if that's going to change. There's still a lot of things that can change, so that is gray. But even as you read the text, which you can't really see because my camera's covering it up. Actually, here, I'll even do one of these. So, this wild buck was considering light blue. He's just below me, but he also is indifferent to my presence, which means he doesn't care. I can walk right by him, even if he's higher level than me, or if he's lower level, or whatever. He's not gonna aggro. He's not gonna just attack me out of nowhere. If something is a bit more aggressive, let's see if we can find something here. I forget exactly what it reads, but it will let you know, like, this creature wants to kill you. Let's see. I feel like I'm actually able to explore a little bit more, because I did just level up. I just got level 10. Level 9 was kind of brutal. As a solo player, if I was in a group, I would have flown through it a little bit more easily, a little more consistently. Here, where's all the wildlife? I feel like up this hill, there's some wolves. Wolf. Second cursed wolf seethes with hatred, eager to slay you. So the text, as long as you read the text, it'll let you know. It'll let you know what to expect out of them if you just walk by, and that's what I would expect too. Same thing with these little hobgoblins here. Yeah, he's just prepared to attack, just straight up. And this is yellow, so as things get higher, just past white would be a yellow con. That's a level higher than me, and then there's like orange, which is 2 level higher, and then red. And if it's red, probably not gonna hit a lot. Probably gonna die. This is a very group-centric game. Oh. It's a very group-centric game, so soloing even as a rogue is difficult. But I'm gonna go ahead and start doing some combat stuff because blurred vision. Alright, that's just a quick little run through. Powers, however, let's see what my abilities. As a level 10 rogue, I have Shadow Walk, which is kind of your stealth, kind of sneaky, yada yada yada. But as I'm in Shadow Walk, I am accumulating readiness, which is kind of my energy. I think most melee classes have a readiness energy bar. Something that is exclusive to me because I'm a rogue is my opportunity, which is down here. Is I have like 4 combo points that just kind of accumulate as I'm in stealth. And then as I use them out of stealth, they don't accumulate unless I'm using certain abilities like Blackjack Kick. If I land this from behind an enemy, it'll give me 2 opportunity points, or if it's from the front, it's just 50 points, or 50%, or yeah, anyway. What else do we have? A quick run through here. Sinister Strikes. This gives me a little damage bonus. If I'm in stealth as I use it, it won't break, but as soon as I'm out of stealth and use an ability, it cancels. So if I get a backstab in, and then I can go ahead and just do a little shiv, I can get kind of like a little bit of a damage bonus for 2 of those abilities there, which is kind of how I've been translating how it reads. I also have Caltrops, which is kind of an AoE snare. Essentially, it's a slow spell, and it's, what is it, 50%? Here it reads 50%. Yeah, which just slows things down for survival, which is good. Oh, somebody's literally flying. I don't know what that was about. I don't know how to do that. That's gotta be a bug. Something else I have loaded into my limited action set is the Spring Wire Trap. This costs 2 opportunity. It needs to be, I think it's stealth. Yeah, requires stealth. Can only have 2 traps active, but this is basically a route. So if I'm pulling, or if somebody else is pulling, and we have 2 enemies coming at us, and I just want to snare, or not snare, but root one down so we can take care of the other one. That's crowd control. Rogues are going to be able to flex into a crowd control role instead of just damage if the situation calls for it. And I feel like a lot of classes are going to be able to do this. Like monks are going to be able to off-tank a little bit, not just damage, but the off-tank. And Necromancer is also a damage and control. But yeah. And I feel like Druid is mostly a priest, but they do have some crowd control abilities and some damage abilities. Druid is Druid. Yeah, did I say Druid or say priest? Anyway, all the classes will be able to flex into other things as well. There, I'm gonna turn that off for everybody around me. Yeah, and I should go get some XP while I have these buffs here. I'm just like walking around in stealth mode, like I'm just cruising. All right. These wild boars, though, these were always dark blue, were just 1 level below me, and I want to see if I can XP off these guys because they're kind of tanky. Yep. You just see a whole bunch of deer, which is kind of sad. I'm gonna let my opportunity? Yeah, opportunity. Accumulate. I'm going to do Sinister Strikes. And then I'm going to get in a backstab. And then while it's still active, get another Shiv in. Kick. Dot it. Poison. And just stab. Just stab this stupid animal. And it's down. Fat loot includes an eyeball. Alright, moving on. What other abilities do we have? The ability to make poison. I don't think I need it quite yet, but I don't have any... Let me equip my poison. I can just summon vials, though. If I can 5 vials of synthetic toxin, applying this toxin to your primary weapon gives it a chance to deal additional chemical damage to an enemy. I don't know if this is just my primary weapon, but I've been equipping it on both, and I'm just kind of rolling with it. It just seems to make sense. It's just a... I don't know if it's just my primary weapon. Hopefully not. Alright, we have poison. Back into Shadow Walk so I can start accumulating more energy. Here we go. And it's light blue, yay, okay. I drink a lot of coffee. Gonna wait for this to go up anyway. My readiness does accumulate during combat, so that's nice that I can continue using my abilities. A lot of them just have cooldowns, and you know, in between the 2 different costs, there's a bit of juggling that goes on, which is kind of cool. And some things give you points in other things, and I feel like there's going to be a bit of a synergy there, which is always nice. I always like, yeah, synergetic gameplay is always really cool. All right. Just regenning a little bit of this here. Poison, kick, shiv, yada yada yada. And here we have their health bar, and then you can kind of see their debuffs right here. Something this game has, it's pretty unique though, and actually pretty cool. Positive targeting systems too. So not just on douchebags, but also on homies. So if you have beneficial spells, you don't have to reach target if you're using harmful spells as well, and you don't want to use a harmful spell on your group mate. Yeah, the game intuitively knows if you're using a beneficial spell, it'll just go to your helpful target, your friendly target. If you're using harmful spells, it just, yeah, you get it. You get it. What else do we have? Bloodletter. This is a big one. This is a lot of damage. It only costs 1 opportunity. It has a 30-second cooldown. Yeah, lacerates target, dealing 120% weapon damage and causing a light bleed. Can't critical hit, but that doesn't matter. It's the bleed that does just a crap ton. And actually, here we'll just do one of these, do a kick, and here's the bloodletter, and you can even see like 20 light bleed, 19. That one resisted. 10, 19. So it's pretty consistent. It's kind of a bit of damage. I don't know if it's intended to be that way, but it's definitely working out. And I feel like rogues need to have a bleed anyway. They don't have to, like, according to canon, only rely on poisons, you know? Like, they can do other things. Rogues are pretty versatile, stereotypically? I forget, you know. Characteristically? I don't... This thing's gray. I need more boars. Itchy. Itchy. I feel like somebody's coming through and killing everything. Or at least all the boars. Here, let's just kill this green wolf. Not even gonna stress about it. Alright. So I think I went over kick, yeah. Smoke trick. I have not even used this yet, but this is a crowd control. This is a CC ability. Incapacitating it for up to 18 seconds. But I basically throw a vial, hits their feet, and mezzes the target and just kind of incapacitates them. And if any damage hits them, it wears off. But that's 18 seconds is kind of that's a good amount of time for a rogue to be able to just sap somebody mid combat or whatever. Actually, might even try it out here. Okay, sorry. A little congested. Okay. Smoke trick, though. Let's just go ahead and throw that on him. And there it is. I'm in combat, so you hear the music, but yeah, he's just gonna sit there. And this I feel like this would give me time to hit the road, just run away. And I did not break stealth. That's actually pretty cool. That's actually really cool. World of Warcraft had a sap. Sap was pretty close to something, you know, like this, I guess. It's just good as a rogue to have these kind of crowd controls, so you can just, for sneaky purposes, you know, if you're an explorative rogue like myself, I'd really just like to see how far into something I can get, into trouble. And being able to, having a variety of sneaky tools is kind of essential. Right here. I don't know why I'm running this way, but I think just to get out of leash aggro. Got a little carried away. Other things that we have. So that's smoke trick. Corrosive brew, 2 opportunity. So 2 of these little points down here, but yeah, it reduces armor class by 15% for 2 minutes. That's also a range, so I can kind of just do that as enemies are incoming. If I were in a grouping situation, I would use that just kind of as a debuff right away. Just to, yeah. So we have Bloodletter, explain that, that's the bleed. And then we have Poison, Twin Fangs. This costs 1,000 readiness, which is good to have different energy currencies. Here, let me get back into sneaky mode here. But yeah, it's a stab, and then you might poison, and yeah, it's poison. Skewer is just kind of a direct attack. Armor class, it ignores armor class, 15% it says. But yeah, just a regular attack. And then we have backstab, which is what you would expect. It needs to be from the back. Need to be piercing weapon. Yada yada. Does a lot of damage, 250%. So I'm always a big fan of backstab. And then shiv. Yeah, this is does a little bit of a bonus damage when positioned from behind the target. So it's like a junior backstab, but it can be used from the front also. So. That, oh, and then I have Ambidextrous, which I just got at level 10, which is a passive ability, depending on what my offhander is. If since I have a piercing weapon, I get a 5% haste. Slashing, see here we have, reduces offhand penalty damage, 10%. And then the blunt offhand attacks, 5% chance to stun for a second, which is actually pretty cool. If something's casting constantly, then you kind of want that with haste. Yeah, just to constantly be bonking. Okay, moving forward. I kind of just, I just need to get some XP, huh? So I'm just gonna burn some stuff down. And all my outgoing damage. Big fan. Backstab. Oh. Oh. It went down. Loot, and then there is a bit of crafting into this game, but I haven't invested much time into it, and I'm not really sure to what extent they've implemented some things. But I do have like an alchemy set, and I have like a scythe or a sickle for harvesting herbs, which I also haven't really done. Haven't really invested too much time into it yet. I would kind of want to wait a little bit to be honest. Just until a little bit more has kind of developed into the game, and you know, until it's a little more substantial, I guess. Not that it isn't now. Not that but I also don't know. And moo. Who knew that elks would moo? Okay. I feel like there should be boars over here. Everything's dead. It's all wild bucks. Somebody's going through and just killing the boars. Which is fine. I mean, for leatherworking. Leatherworking is a thing, speaking of crafting. But yeah, there's usually some ambient pigs. Pig! And as I'm recharging some of my readiness here, just a quick peek. Slots. Head, earrings, necklace, chest, belts, pants, shoes, rings. We get 2 rings. Relic, gloves, shoulders, back. Then we have our resistances here. These big icons. I have 5 fire resistance. Look at that. I don't know where that's coming from. Oh, probably one of these buffs here. And then we have strength, stamina, constitution, agility, dexterity, intellect, wisdom, charisma. I feel like that's pretty standard. Yeah. I feel like agility and dexterity sometimes get kind of lumped into the same thing, but... Next level, melee. Here's different things here you can look at. Weapon damage, attack power, yada yada. Defense, yada yada. Ranged. Spell. Adventuring skills. Right here. Let's see, what else do we have? I'm gonna kill something. Well, I've regenerated. '86 backstab. I'm gonna be watching that as I level up. That's just, I was always a big fan of that in EverQuest. Played a rogue. Played a rogue also named Navioki. This is actually a replica. Not a replica. Navioki was a dark elf. You can't replace. Oh, that's a bear. I'm right behind a bear. Oh, it's only. Is it only blue? It's only light blue. I think I'm gonna try and kill this bear. Okay, let's do this. I'm gonna recharge some of these points here. Bleed. Kick. Debuff. Poison. Okay. This is going surprisingly well. It was light blue, but you never really know. Even sometimes things that are right below you, like a blue, will just give you a lot of trouble. These boars actually, previous level, were a dark blue, and they gave me a lot of trouble. I almost died like every time, and it just made me nervous. So I was just, oh, you gonna get that? You gonna get that bear? 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 Okay. Some more points, all the points, and buff, and stab, 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 and one of these, bleed, and kick, debuff, and poison. It's a good little rotation. Okay, not bad. Oh my god, that trapper. Crap. Oh, okay. So I think it's white. Yeah, that is a white. It was yellow before, but same emotional response. All right, I'm gonna go recharge a little bit here. Oh no, I don't want to get out of Shadow Walk. I want to stay in Shadow Walk. Okay. So here we stay for a moment. I'm not sure if anybody has any questions, but please in the comments, just like feel free. I feel like this recording is just going to be on like an offline, non-live, just a video. But after this, maybe this afternoon too. If I come back this afternoon, I'll probably maybe do a live type of situation and just yeah, maybe get a group and see what happens. Okay. Getting recharged. There's obviously a lot less downtime when you're in a group situation, and your rotation would be different. And especially if I were to do damage, or if I were to have to CC more, I would put different things up on my bar. There is a small bar here, it's called limited action set, because they didn't want everything to be available all the time, which I'm a huge fan of. I feel like it's a little, I don't know, it gets to a really muddied down kind of play style, just to go through and be like, use your top 5 most powerful stuff until it dies, and it's just, And just do that in rotation. Oh, I'm a damage dealer, so I only do that, and that's my only thing that I do. The gameplay here is a bit different in a grouping situation. It's just different. Maybe I'm gonna see if I can cut down this Jew plane right here. Yeah, I can't do. Oh, because I'm. Here we go. Okay, I've never actually harvested before. I've done a little bit of skinning, and I was like, okay, you know, whatever, for extra money. Yeah, it does take time. Alright, we got stuff. This is light blue, so it needs to kill it. Need to kill at least until I have the buffs. And when they wear off, I'll definitely take a break. And even when it gets nightfall, I'll probably take a break then too. It's currently 1 o'clock. You don't die. And if you can't tell by now, this is obviously a pretty grindy game. Oh, you have a little XP bar way down here. It's so small, I kind of missed it for like the first few levels. For a while, I was just kind of like looking back at this guy right here. But it's nice. It's like, yeah, it's down there. Handy. These guys. Oh, this gray howler is gray now. It's not even a pup. It is gray. Alright, well, let's continue. Let me recharge my my gusto, my riz. Young bear. Never thought I'd be fighting young bears, but I guess I'm level 10. I guess I'm old enough. Die, bear! Die! Alright. Oh, I have a bleed. Cannot stay in stealth while I have a dot on, and it's gone, so that's life, you know. Can't hide in the shadows when you're bleeding to death. Take a little rest. Take a little nap. Come on, health. Come on. It must be just that I have so much. Oh, 208? It's okay. It's actually kind of a lot. More than I'm used to. Alright. Alright, we were... Let me kill a few more and then take a short restroom break. A lot of these buffs. These are good buffs. A lot of them. A ton of them. It's good. Bonk. It's a good thing I have. I've spent some money on bags. I have good amount of space. There's a lot of riffraff as far as loot, but I'm sure it's all used in some capacity. You know, alchemy or crafting, leather working, blah blah blah. No? Oh, here we go. Didn't have him targeted. That's crucial. Been Poking. All the pokes. Here we go. Really looking forward to when they implement guild functionality. I'd like to make some friends. I'd like to know people, but also with this rogue, I kind of don't really care too much to get too invested. I just kind of feel kind of impersonal just playing this class that I'm just not really emotionally attached to quite yet. I do like this rogue, don't get me wrong, but I just want to play Necromancer. I want to have a skelly pet, I want to do diseasey stuff and cast darkness, and that's my MO. Some people might think the combat's kind of boring, but I'm super into the tab targeting, old school, a little bit of RNG, you know, stats are important, you know, the damage versus and the delay of each weapon, something you need to know. There's a weapon ratio, it's all the mechanics. That grouping, it's all about grouping in this game, to be honest. But I'm just not quite in a state where I'm just doing it just yet. Not here, not at this very moment. Not right now. Things do run. When they have a lot of HP, and when they start to run, they run for a long time because they have a lot of HP. So crowd control is a situation that's almost necessary in certain dungeons, where if you have a knight that's just running away, he's going to go and get his friends. Because that's what things do in these games. They're going to go and get their friends, and then they're going to bring them to you, and then you're going to have a lot more trouble. Because fighting in this game is a little more stressful than what typical MMORPG. So recently somebody said that there was they said there was an ARPG-ification of MMOs, and the ARPG kind of flow of combat where it's just hack and slash, and you're just running around slashing, and you just destroy, you go to this next room and just destroy in the next, and not into that. Oh, he's out way too early. Or maybe we can stall for a second. There we go. Good enough. Something else to expect is raids. And I'm very excited that there's a possibility that I could do some old school style raiding like I used to do back in the day. Have a guild and then get like 30 people and everybody organized to take down something that's really, really difficult. I'm a huge fan of that. That was so much fun back in the day. North Temple of Vishan. I think it was North Temple of Vishan. Temple of Vishan. With all the dragons. That's how you get to Plane of Mischief. And then Sleeper's Tome. My guild actually woke the Sleeper before it was like nerfed and all the crazy stuff. Exploits were going on. Actually, my guild did a little bit of the exploiting, to be honest. I ended up with a Primal Spear as a rogue. That was insane. That went in my main hand. The 1320. My Ragebringer, which is my epic weapon, was a 1525. The ratio on the 1320? My backstabs weren't as high, but just my overall damage was just nuts. It was nuts. And then an essence lens, I think it was. It was in my like relic slot or whatever slot that it was called. Can't believe that. I ended up eBaying that character. I feel a little ashamed, but I was like 18 years old, and like my mom was just not happy with it, and I was supposed, you know, it was high school, and I was really fighting with sleeping, and I was playing like, I don't know, like 18 hours a day or something absurd. I had 2 other friends that were doing the same thing too, so I mean, like I had some, I had a crutch, I had an emotional crutch to that. And that's what we would do. We just played a shit ton, but my mom was not really happy with it, so I had to quit. And I was like, well, I could either give my character away or I could eBay it and make some money. I made $800. This is like early 2000s. I made $800. Can't believe that. Which I think was like really against the rules at the time, but people did it. Yeah, against EverQuest rules, not like eBay rules or anything, but it was a big no-no. I wouldn't do that now. Honestly, I'd probably just give a character away. Here, guys. Here's a rogue. I went hit with an ultimatum and just like feeling really useless, and like I've been a bit of a, not a scumbag, but just kind of not as helpful in life, and yeah, that's just kind of where I was. And oh, what is that? What was that noise? Alright, alright. One of these, one of those, one of these, and one of those. And you're on the run. Rogues are fun with the burst damage, I'll say that. It's nice that they do have dots. Big fan of dots. Big fan of dots. There's just a certain layering of damage that I appreciate. Oh. See, this one's still light blue. I leveled up. When I was level 9, all these boars were light blue, so these guys, I think it's like a 2-level range, light blues. But, they were all mad. See you, dude. Rest in peace. Alright, we still have about 5 minutes of these buffs. And then I'm gonna take a little break. Can't wait to go somewhere else and to kill some different things, to be honest. I am level 10 still pretty low in the world of Pantheon, I think. I feel there is a skeleton group. Oh, did not mean to take that off. There's a skeleton group that I was doing a little bit a couple days ago, which is nice because I had a group and XP was flying. But they were looting everything. That's kind of one of the downfalls of being in a group too, with a bunch of strangers. You don't know them, and you don't really know what to expect. So I didn't get any loot. They were just racing to corpses and just looting everything. I'm like, all right, whatever. And mostly, I just wanted the XP anyway. And as long as I can afford to buy my next abilities, that would be nice. People get competitive in these games. But at the same time, the community is very, very nice. Super helpful. You can... So I don't know if you can... Yeah, I have my camera up, but... And the text down here, if you can read in the out-of-character chat, People are saying like, oh yeah, if you need a dagger, come meet me at the well. I have bags for sale, and people just giving things away too, for the most part. Or just buffs, just people going to the like shaman, just going to the well and just buffing everybody that's there. It's a good meeting up point, I feel like. There's always a place where people just tend to meet up. So I got 3 minutes on these buffs. Yep. And as far as the class breakdown, I feel like maybe that's probably good to go over. Most MMORPGs, there's the Trinity. The Trinity, the tank, the healer, and the damage. In Pantheon, there's the Quaternity. So you have those three, and then you have also support. Because in a game like this, when everything has so much health, you really do need crowd control. You just really need crowd control. Especially when things run away, and like I was saying earlier, they go and get their friends and bring them back to you, and you end up with way more trouble on your hands. Crowd control is really, and it's a fun aspect to have in this during this kind of combat. It just is. There's more possibilities, more things that can happen, more variety in gameplay, and that's huge. But as far as class breakdowns, let's see, we're gonna have the warrior. Let's start with tanks. Warrior, paladin, and dire lord. Dire lord would be what you would expect for like a death knight, shadow knight. So yeah, spooky disease guy. And then you have the rogue. Well, let's do melee. Rogue, monk, ranger. Eventually bard. As far as casters, you have the wizard, you have the summoner, and you'll have the necromancer, and you also have the enchanter. And the enchanter is pretty much all crowd control. Wizard's going to be damage, necromancer damage and crowd control, kind of in between. And the summoner would be much more damage oriented, but I think there's going to be some crowd control in there too. And there's like a little bit of healing capability with one of their Golem, Guardian, summonable. Summoner's kind of different from a typical summoning class. In EverQuest, it was called the Mage. It's a little different. Here, I'm going to regen my health a little bit before I get into combat. But yeah, they all have very... Oh, and Druid. As far as priests, we have, yeah, Shaman, Cleric, and Druid. And they all have different healing styles. I'm just really excited to see more classes appear as we get closer to release and early access. Early access is coming out in December, by the way. Really excited about that. Hoping to rope in some friends, you know, because I don't think it'll be a monthly subscription until official release. Early access will be like a pay now and enjoy until whenever. And if people don't mind doing testing, you know, like as I'm doing right now, this could be considered testing. I consider this testing. Just playing the game, just going rounds and exploring a little bit and just doing stuff. Yep. And then it was this is great timing here. Let's see, what is this? It's about 17 o'clock, so 5 p.m. Sun's gonna go down. My buffs have worn off, and I'm just gonna go back to the well and hang out there for a bit, and just chill. And hopefully some people will come by and buff up some people again. Those AoE buffs are really nice. Hey, somebody got the haste cloak. Named mobs will have very specific gear, and that's another kind of tenet of these old school MMORPGs, like the fungus tunic. Fungus tunic in EverQuest, you know, is a tunic covered in fungus, but it had a huge region to it. It was, and monks could wear it, so it was huge for monks and solo ability. Shaman could wear it, which they are able to cannibalize their own health to give themselves mana. So like be able to go like have a high ambient health regen was huge. Or even for any warrior, just having that ambient regen, it was huge. It was kind of game changing. But there's like very specific items that you just don't really compare to other things, which is like unique is so important for games like this, because like in games like World of Warcraft, there are unique things like, oh, the sword will sometimes throw a fireball. There's a lot of that in these games. Journeyman boots had a little quest. You had to bring a whole bunch of gold and you had to do a bunch of stuff, and you got journeyman boots, J boots. And it allowed you to cast a spell on yourself that gave you a movement speed bonus of like, I don't know, 15% or something, 10%. But it's huge. An EverQuest game like that is huge. Huge factors, you know. And it's fun. All right. Well, Sir Trias. I don't know if they named him after my friend back in EverQuest. I knew a Trias. He was a ranger. He's a good dude. I miss my old guild. They're really fun guild. But I'm gonna go ahead and park here and just give it a pause. So you're gonna come back and you're gonna see things different, but I'll be the same. All right, BRB. Okay. It's still nighttime. Traditionally speaking, I'm just kind of hanging out and not doing much and just kind of like making a snack or whatever. If I'm solo anyway, at nighttime certain things come out. Ghost Vipers, I think that's like the first thing that comes to mind, honestly. Just Ghost Vipers are very fast. I cannot outrun them. Even if I have a movement speed modifying buff, like an extra 15% to my movement speed, it's fine. But completely just raw dogging, running around, I'm gonna die. You know, they have poison, they bite hard. Sucks. Anywho. Yeah, so instead of just going out there and dying and whatever, and just... I mean, I totally could, because there's really no death penalty right now, which is nice, because we're still testing, so it's nice not to have that kind of detriment. Death penalty, though, however, even I think recently they Chris Joppa Perkins, he's like the creative director, he was saying that death penalty will be 10%, so it would be like one of these chunks, one of these bubbles right here, right about here. Actually, I've made about 10% since. It's kind of a lot now that I put it into perspective like that. It's like since I dinged 12 to 10. I've gotten about 10% of XP. Like, all that fighting, that would have been for naught. And you drop off your bags and your money on your corpse, and you have to go back and get it. So, like everything, all my equipment would come back with me to my bind spot after death. And then all of this would just be left, and the gold, which is... I feel like that's a really good death penalty system. Because I feel like in these retro, hardcore, challenging MMOs, you want a death penalty system. You do. You don't want it to be too easy. Just even right now, I don't lose XP. Everything comes with me. I just return to my bind point. I lose my buffs, which you should. You know, that's something that should happen. So that's okay. But it's not threatening enough. I can just sprint in a direction and not really worry about it and just explore. It's kind of a technique I use in Elden Ring. I make sure I have like 0 runes and then just sprint to the next grace and then come back and kill everything in between. Just so I have a little more of a variety of figuring out and locating and mapping out in my mind. And I don't know, it's just how I play. I don't mind cheesing a little bit. I really don't. I mean, I'm playing an intelligence build in Elden Ring that's kind of cheesy, right? Right? That's what everybody would say, right? Okay, thanks. Yeah. Let's see what else to talk about. We've talked about guilds. We talked about raids. We've talked about grouping. Dispositions. Enemies will have what is called disposition, and that is, they're going to have certain attitudes to certain things, and they're going to have certain behaviors. And this is going to be, this is a factor that's going to be randomized at spawn, I believe. I'm sure that certain enemies in certain locations would be pre-scripted to have very specific things in those specific locations, so that players would experience a certain something or whatever, you know, quest-wise, that might be reactive to that. But yeah, dispositions like you're attacking an enemy, and normally things start running at like 20% health. They just start running. If it's like a cowardly archer or something, he might start running at 50%, and like just running to go get his friends, and like that's a factor that you might want to know about, and it will be in their name title. So I mean, you would be able to determine that and act accordingly. But that's really cool that something would have that kind of disposition. If there's a caster that just like have a disposition to go specifically for your healer, they want to kill healers first. Like that's what they want to do. That's a disposition. So that's kind of exciting. There's also a perception system, which if I walk around, see some of it trigger. Let's see if I go the right way here. There's certain locations that kind of signal up here at the top, and they just kind of give you flavor to what's going on around you. Seek the stone steps to the north, or even like if your intuition. It seems a little direct, this particular one here, but it is a way to lead you through something like a quest without actually initializing a quest and then having it in your book, and just following the instructions. they might hint out things to you, and like you either get it or you don't. And there's certain situations where your perception skill might not be high enough to actually get the clue, which is... Is that a baby?
It's okay. Alright, guys. I have brought the instruments. What do you have? Well, I've got my wood.
I don't think I've ever heard that. That's like specific to that one cabin. That's really weird. I completely forgot what we were talking about. Dispositions. Oh yeah. Perception system. Laughter and song and mix and banter and brawls. You know, it's... I feel like it's being a little overused in that regard. You know, you don't have to tell me it's teeming with life, because I mean, like, I can see that it's not really teeming with life. There's some NPCs around and there's people around, but it's like, don't tell me that. Here, shadow walk and then sit down. Actually, get my ready. Gotta be ready. Gotta get my readiness back up. Yeah, let's see. I don't know if I have a copy. Yeah, we'll talk about the map at some other time. That's still being constructed. At early access, there's supposed to be six zones. One being this newbie area. I think one being a dungeon, and then 4 outdoor areas, I think. They're also going to release the races, almost all of them. I'm really curious about the Scar. If you go to the website, pantheonmmo.com, you'll be able to see some of these things. I definitely want to play a Scar Necromancer. I think that would be super cool. Or Darkmere. Which is as close to a Dark Elf as I'm going to get, and that's okay. I'll make do. It's very fishy. If you go and you look, you'll see what I mean. And that's okay. I like that they put a little twist on the races, honestly. And as far as races, if I can remember them, we have human, elf, dwarf, gnome, ogre, Archai, Dark Myrrh, Scar. I think that's it. There's 9. Anywho. But we have only seen the human as far as the models go in Pantheon, so hopefully soon, or at least it's scheduled for early access in December. I'm excited about that. There's a few major changes that need to occur for early access, and I think they're going to do it. I think they're going to be on time. They've been kind of crushing it lately. This development team, they really did have oh man, such a slow initialization, I guess, where they just didn't have things quite right. They needed a different system, back-end system, so they had to completely flip that. They went for the different graphics. They had to completely flip that. And I'm not criticizing because I have no idea what it's like to make a video game. I would love to make a video game, but I don't know what it's like. So especially for a small team that's making a game in the genre that is the most complicated genre and the most pain in the ass genre of a game to make. MMORPGs are just the biggest games. It's the biggest. There's so much interlayering and interconnectivity between all these mechanics that I can't imagine. So I'm not trying to, dishearten. I'm not trying to shit on them. I'm not. I really like this team. I believe in them. I believe they want this game to release just as much as I do. And yeah, and that's cool. And I'm all for it. And I'm gonna be patient, and I'm gonna be forgiving when it comes to bugs or just a lack of development speed. Like, I'm gonna be forgiving to that. Because I believe in this. Like, it's fine. They get a lot of criticism on YouTube, and it's kind of crap, really. But people just have really, really high expectations, and they're gonna make content out of it, YouTube content, with their maybe exaggerated disappointment or whatever. Where's your game? Where's the game you're working on? Get out of here. Okay. See what time it is. 0. It's a 0 hour. Since I'm not doing a live situation, I might even do another quick little pause. That way we can burn through some of this night cycle. I might get a snack. Well, we're gonna find out. All right. Let's see. Okay. Whoa. Grabbed one of my girlfriend's cheesy sticks. Don't tell her. She'll be mad. If I can open it. Let's see, what time is it now? Alright. It's only 1 o'clock. I'm not even sure how long the day-night cycle is, but there is one, so that's cool. I feel like I have a movement speed buff. Might go kill some snakes now. Might even go take a look here. I'm gonna take a look. Oh. Take a look at the skeleton camp. I'm gonna have to take a break here in a bit, but I might even come back and do like a little live. Hit up my homies and be like, hey, they're probably too busy to watch me go live on this kind of lackluster MMO pre-alpha. It's not lackluster. I mean, like, on the surface, I could see how people would be like, oh, this looks boring and basic, and I'm like, for me, it's the gameplay. It's definitely about the gameplay here. And it's huge. Small brown rat. So here we have, like, this is like a skeletal area. I wish there was like a little group nearby and kind of get a little gander. A gander at their attempts here. What is this? Duskbat. Duskbat is blue. There could be things here in the super dark. You can't always see their bar, even if I deselect this. Oh, there's a ghost viper, way over there. Look at that. And that is light blue to me, but he's got poison in it, and that'll rock my shit, to be honest. And those green glowy boys over here, that's just a skeleton, I believe. But I can't target it. Oh shit. That's a ghost viper. Oh, this is a blue one. I'm gonna take this back to the guards. So being close to guards is always really nice because if I aggro something like this, I can just... Oh. Come on, night guard. Save me. Save my life. Save me. Yeah, dude. See ya. I don't get any loot or anything because he obviously kill-stilled me, but kill-stolen me from me? Kill-stilled me! This is what nighttime looks like, though. And it actually does get pretty dark. I do have a torch, which is kind of cool. But it's... They're working on a system, I don't know if it's completely implemented, but like if something's in the dark and you wouldn't be able to see it because of your vision, level of vision, you also won't be able to target it. Which I think is genius. Because it's so easy just to go through here like this and just like cycle through with my tab button and just see exactly what's there. And I don't know, it's a little immersion breaking. But I feel like having... like the can't target in the dark system's like a really good idea. I'm gonna go back and try to fish these people for some more buffs. Strength and dex would be nice. Something else to know is my abilities here. I don't know if it's listed. Here we go. Here's a good example. Down at the bottom of this tooltip, you see damage modifiers: agility 20%, constitution 20%. I will get a damage, or here's a better example. Strength 20%, dex 60%. So if I have higher dex, obviously this is going to scale. Think Elden Ring, how things scale in that. So if it has like a D rating, it's not going to be very beneficial. My strength, the amount of strength that I have, won't be as beneficial as if the scaling number were higher. That's kind of the multiplying factor as far as how strong that ability goes. But it's really nice because a lot of these have two different stats. So even if I didn't have a lot of dex, and if I had like a different kind of build, strength would still at least like give a 20% bonus. So that's kind of cool. A little more flavor, a little different. That's cool. And cheese. Okay. There's no map. There's no map. No mini-map. No in-game map. I get a compass. They've talked about maybe doing a little bit of like a topography kind of crafting situation, but like I don't really care if they do. There's going to be online websites that give you all this information, player-made stuff. I feel like that's the most fun anyway. The player-made info. EverQuest back in the day had Alakazam, which is really cool because it was a fan website. It was kind of like a Wikipedia style. Even I think it was before Wikipedia. I don't know. That's worth a Google. I don't know. Anywho. Yeah, Alakazam was the website that you went to that just had a ton of information. It was player collected comments, photographs. You could upload stuff. Kind of a bit of a Wikipedia. But you needed something like that because the EverQuest was such a huge game and there was so much to it. And there was no journal system in the game. Let me put it that way. Like this whole Quest journal. Didn't have that. You had to keep track of things on your own. A lot of players would have a notepad next to their desk or whatever, and just have like ongoing things with location numbers. And actually, is there a location in this? /lock. Yeah, there we go. Your location is this blah blah blah. Okay. But just like information as far as like where they were and where, yeah, and hand drawn. Yeah, it was crazy. It was different times. It was really fun though, because it blended the whole technology era with the whole analog era, and people were just like hand doing things when the technology was there to compensate for that. And anywho, yeah. What else? What else can I introduce you to? Yeah. Food and water. Food and water allow you to regen health and your energy, respectively. I think water is specifically for mana, so I'm not sure if it really applies to melee classes, which I feel like it should, because melee people are probably a lot more dehydrated. Probably from sweating from all the melee combat. So I feel like water should be more important to them. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I'm wrong about a lot of things. Moving on. Yeah, I don't know if there's much else of a tour that I can really give. Mastery points. You know what? We can talk about that. So this is my ability book right here. If I knew spells, then it would be spells. But they have these 3 little dots down below, which mastery system, which I don't think they're not. It's implemented, but it's not finished, so it's been turned off, I think, is the situation. But some of these even have some of them filled out. Here we go, blackjack kick. Whereas, like, if I put in a mastery point, then it unlocks this first, and then 2 more mastery points would allow me to unlock the next level, and then 4 mastery points after that. So I guess it's a total of 7, I guess. 7 mastery points to unlock a skill completely, but yeah, bonus damage generates 2 opportunity regardless of position. That would be nice. That actually would be nice. But this is turned off for the time being, and that's okay until they figure it out. They're also, let's see, active racial abilities and passive racial abilities. Those are still being worked in. I'm okay. Ugh. I feel like I had some spit go down the wrong pipe. That was crazy. Oh, what were we talking about? Yeah. Let's see what else. So there is a there's a quest journal system, which is cool. I haven't really paid too much attention to these, so I only have one. And I'm not really working on it. But it does have one. Something to keep track of. Social. Here we go. There gotta be more than 5 people on right now. There we go. Okay. Whew. I'm still coming back to life. Doing /who will bring up your social, and it'll actually like refresh it. I'm sure it'll have a different, little more of a seamless refreshing later on. But you can see who's online in the zone that you're in. So I'm in Thronefast. If I went to Avendir's Pass, this would be a completely different list. But you can see who's LFG. This is all alphabetical order too. The level they are, their race, their class. But it's nice, and you have your friends list. Looking for group, so if you just need to like find out like I'm level 10, I need a partner. Maybe he wants to start a skeleton group. He's level 10 monk.
Hey, Detain, let's go do stuff. And even down here, actually down in the OOC, I'll even get rid of this camera here. But anyone need a 10 Pally, 9 Cleric, or a 15 Monk? This person or a 10 Shaman. This person's playing a lot, which is pretty cool. But have that kind of variety, and that is nice to be able to do that when you do have alts. Having alts in a game like this just definitely just feels different. In like World of Warcraft, you're just kind of going through the motions and like doing your dailies and just like, oh, I have to do like my 45 minutes on this character and then 45 minutes on that character. You're just going through like these routines with them and just getting your points and your currencies, and it's a bit different. Here. As early as this game is, I'm really liking how things are going. I think most of the community is. I think we're all like pretty thrilled about it. But there's always haters. There's always going to be haters. But you know what? Screw the haters. I don't care. Macros. We have macros here, but I feel like they're not programmable to your keyboard quite yet, which is fine. And I don't really need them. But to make a... There we go. Yeah, I'm not sure. Slash assist, maybe. Slash assist somebody. That's ass. That's tradition. Okay. Close it. Okay, so macro. I don't know what this... Oh, summoner. He's summoning a minion. Summoners can have 2 of these guys. They can always have a water minion out. A guardian or whatever. I'm going to say minion because that's what's written right here. So, I mean, it's in label. So they can have a water minion out, which is always a healer, and then they can have a earth or air or a fire out for offensive stuff. Summoners seem really interesting, and a bit different from anything else I've really seen, which is cool. It's always nice to see things just a little different and things that play out well. Even the wizard class seems really cool. I won't even spoil it because I don't even really know too much, but they're using a lot of fire, a lot of ice, and a lot of in-between. And as they heat up, they got to cool down, and they kind of have to balance their temperature a little bit. At least that's kind of the impression that I got. I'm not sure. Let's see. I'm not sure what else to share. As far as abilities and leveling up, you're gonna have a vendor next to where you spawn, like in the very, very beginning. And right about in that vicinity, you're gonna have the vendor that sells you the abilities. As you level up, you'll be able to access the scrolls. I'm just gonna do a quick little run over here. But being that I'm a rogue, it is kind of like off to the side. And thievy area, you know, this is where the bandits hang out, you know, type of. Which is cool. It's very roleplay, very character-driven. Yeah. And see, these go up to, what are we at? Level 20. And I'm not sure. I'm sure there's something even further, like in the 20s, as far as the abilities go. Maybe there's not. Maybe I'm wrong. But yeah. You get. I'm not even sure if it's every 4 levels. Like some levels you get 1 ability, some you'll get 2, and then some you'll get like 3 or 4. But that's just that's cool. That yeah. I'm not sure. I'm not even really sure if the abilities are being front loaded. I'm not sure, but I always appreciate that when that does happen a little bit, because it's kind of boring just to have 3 abilities up until level 10, especially when it takes you like 5 hours to get to level 10, 5-6 hours of playtime, and only having like 3 or 4 abilities the entire time. It's like, all right, well, it's kind of boring. So like I'm level 10 right now, and I have a full bar. I have 2 full bars, and I honestly forget the name of this versus this. These are more passive, out of combat type of things, and these are more direct in combat type of things. Long story short, And we also have like a crafty area out here, blacksmithy type stuff. So we have a bit going on so far. Hopefully, there's another update here coming up pretty soon. And yeah, more would be good. Here, I'm gonna hang out here and try to get me some buffs from these people. I guess I could just ask, but I'm a little introverted and a little antisocial. I'm just gonna come out and be like, "Hey, bitches, give me some buffs." There we go. There's something. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks. All right. Well, looks like I'm immune to updraft. Anything else? Anybody else? All right. You know what? I'm kind of content right now. And I'm gonna run back to my location, and then I think that's gonna be it for this little episode. I hope people find this entertaining and informative, and I hope people ask questions, because I don't know all the answers, but when people do ask, then that makes me realize, hey, there's things that I don't know, and then I learn something about it. And I'm always down to learn, especially Pantheon. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of lore. If you're into lore and fantasy stuff, fantasy writings, just go to the website and you start reading about the races and the history and where Terminus came from. The whole world is Terminus, and how different realities kind of collided together. If I remember, it's been years. It has been years since I've read lore, so I don't remember all that much quite yet. But as time goes on, I'll be refreshed on things, and they really need to update the website. That's something they need to do. I gotta update that. I'm gonna eat some food. Keep those bars full, just because I'm like a little OCD about that. It's just kind of one of those, like, it's got to stay at least high. It doesn't have to be full, but it's got to be high. What kind of buffs we got going on here? Erudite mind, intelligence increase, that updraft. That's the nice one there. That's movement speed. That's Sow or So. Back in EverQuest, Spirit of Wolf or Spirit of the Wolf. I think Spirit of Wolf. Druids had that. Rangers had that. Shaman had that. It's super handy. Especially if you need to run away from things. It's so handy. Survivability. Increasing your survivability in these games is kind of crucial, especially if you lose 10% of your XP bar when you die. It's kind of big. I do have my graphics turned all the way down. Maybe not all the way down, but I've turned off a lot of the the fancy stuff. Just because I am recording off my PC and playing on my PC, and I don't have. I built my computer in 2020. I'll put it that way. So it's my GPU is I have a 2070 Super, a Ryzen 7, and that's. I have a bunch of RAM. But for recording and streaming and doing all the things and playing all the games, like, I have not had good luck. I tried it with Baldur's Gate 3, and it was a nightmare. I think I was getting like between 5 and 10 frames per second. Just not doable at all. So I'm gonna watch this, and hopefully it turns out good. Turns out well. Turns out fancy. And yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna be maybe doing a live later. I'm gonna upload this right now, and hopefully everybody found things entertaining. And I'm just gonna put this up again as a gentle reminder to manage your expectations. This game is still in pre-alpha, and stuff will change, and all the goodies. But yeah, hope you like everything, and I'm gonna make some more of these because I really enjoy playing this game. So yeah, you have a great day. All right, take it easy. Bye.